Hey guys, I'm here with Sarah Doyle from the Better Life Project.
And this is FSM RX'd.
Welcome to FSM RX'd.
Hey guys, welcome to FSM RX'd, and this is episode 4, and we always talk about health, fitness and nutrition, but we're actually going into the mind, and we have the pleasure of getting Sarah Doyle from the Better Life Project, and she is here to talk about powerlifting, rocking it for women, and also just being more positive and just how to live a better life, which is kind of one of your mottos for the Better Life. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sarah, obviously the Better Life Project's been on Facebook for about 2 years now?
2 years in June.
2 years, and your website went live last year, the end of last year I think it was.
January-ish, yeah, the current website, January-ish,
So check that out. It's the
betterlifeproject.ie.
And
betterlifeproject.ie.
It's got some really good content, really good videos, which we watched, and some really good the Better Life Project TV is pretty good. There's good content, and good articles and stuff like that. But before all this came about, where were you?
So my background is human rights, international development. When I was in college, I was all about helping people. So it's definitely always been an interest of mine, but helping them in a very different way. So I had these dreams of myself going over to Africa and feeding all the hungry children. I wanted to ensure equality for the sexes. That was where my passion was and where my interests lay. So I went off to Thailand in about 2011, and I did a 1-year master's degree there in human rights. And I came back, and after a long old slog, because I came back in the middle of the recession, so there wasn't jobs anywhere, and there especially wasn't jobs for any sort of human rights activist. But I eventually managed to get myself a job in Trinity College, where I stayed for about 3.5 years, and I started off as a research assistant, and then for various reasons got promoted very, very quickly, almost too quickly through the ranks. And I spent my last year in Trinity as a project manager on an international development research project looking at HIV and AIDS. So really different to where I am now, but there was always a part of me that just wanted to help people. And I've honoured that value for a very, very long time. I've just gone down a different avenue now in the last year.
And the helping people thing, like I know for me personally, I went to college to become a speech therapist and realised rubbing people down all day was not my gig. Got the personal training cert as part of the college course, and then became a coach, and just realised, and I've always wanted to help people. And as my coaching evolves, it's helping people in different ways rather than just like getting them fit. It's helping them form healthy habits. Have you always kind of just wanted to, like I know what you went to college for and stuff like that, you wanted to help people? Has that always been something since you've known yourself, like been aware of yourself, always been that kind of helpful person? Or
I've always just felt, I think I've always taken sort of injustices quite personally, and I've always felt like there was a role that I could play in that. But because of what I did in college, I became very focused on the human rights element to it. But I have these memories of when I was a little kid and giving motivational talks to my neighbours when I was 5 years old, telling them, if you believe, you can get on that bike and you can cycle. And I remember that sort of stuff so vividly, but I never had a name for it. But I was just always very interested in people getting stuff done and motivating them and being a part of that journey and being a part of their story in some sort of way. I spent about 4 months working in India, volunteering with an incredible charity there, and I was assigned to a project called Employability Towards Education. So I was working with my teaching partner with about 25, 17 and up Indian men and women. And so much of what we did was just about inspiring these guys to actually believe in themselves, to instill confidence and basic soft skills. So much of what we do in college and in school will look at the top of the iceberg, what people can see. I slowly started to become really interested in the bottom, the stuff that you can't see, but the stuff that makes up so much of our life. And it was only when I was in India that I really realised this is how I want to help people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where they are or who they are. We all have this life, and I think it's the best gift that we can ever have. And I want to play some sort of role in helping people get the most out of that they possibly can. And so I guess coming back from India and then slowly starting to piece all these bits and pieces together. And also the life that I wanted for myself as well.
Yeah.
There's a lifestyle there that I'm very, very passionate about living because of the time that I spent in Trinity and the toll it took on my mental health. There's too many people out there that focus on work and work alone. And work defines who they are, and it's their only way to get validation in life. And that could have been me.
Well, that's a really good thing, and I think a lot of people can relate to that overworking. And I've been kind of criticized by family for just doing too much work, but I do love what I do, and it is a process and a journey. But one thing you kind of said is like, obviously you got the tip of the iceberg and underneath, like the foundations, and it's not the fun bit, it's not the exciting bit. The foundations of starting everything off is learning that is hard. A lot of people don't want to. They don't want to see that side of things.
No, we take all that stuff for granted, but we also assume that it's not fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting down there and I'm challenging myself to develop personally and spiritually, that's a really big challenge for me, the spiritual side of what it is that I'm trying to do. But when I challenge myself in that way and I force myself to do new things, define fun. Tell me what's not fun, because I might be sitting there and even if I don't have a smile on my face, I'm having a good time. I'm immersed. I'm feeling satisfied and fulfilled. So define what fun is, and then I would challenge you to go, well, I bet you are feeling satisfied. I bet you are seeking and experiencing joy in some sort of way. And that's what personal development is for me. And coaching is my outlet. Coaching is how I will support people do that. I call that fun. I might not have a smile on my face the whole time, but I call that fun.
Good. A lot of people will say that I'm a big grumpy coach, but I enjoy coaching.
But there you go. It's satisfaction and fulfillment. So.
I enjoy being grumpy as well. So obviously, then you decided after everything India, you decided to become a life coach. So how did that did you have to study online, or was there seminars in Ireland and stuff, or how did you?
It all happened really, really fast. But again, I had no idea what coaching was. As far as I was concerned, this was psychology, this was counselling, this was some sort of therapy. And it was when I first started in Trinity that I began thinking about this sort of thing in my future and what I wanted to do with my life. And I was very fortunate to have met an incredible woman called Dee, who was a psychologist, and she was able to pick my brains. And she was able to support me as I realized what it was that I wanted to do. And one day she just looked at me and she said, Sarah, it sounds like you want to do coaching. It sounds like you actually want to do confidence and motivation and habits and rituals. And you don't need a fancy dancy psychology degree to do that, because it's very scientific, Sarah. It sounds like you really just want to empower. And I said, yeah, isn't that what psychology is? No, Sarah, that's not what psychology is. So it was after that conversation with her, and then I think within 6 months I had enrolled in a course in Drumcondra. It was a really, really intense 6-month diploma FETAC type thing. And that was it. I started practicing almost straight away, partially because I had to, partially because I wanted to. But then I got promoted, and the more I got promoted, the less I coached. And then I remember one day I came home. I think I was living away from home for the first year ever, and I came to my family home, and James was there. Mum just looked at me and she said, Sarah, I've got some really bad news. It's really sad. And I kind of braced myself. And she goes, my friend, her son committed suicide, and she found him in her room. And they lost their dad only a year before that, and my heart just broke. And I've never met him before, and I've heard of death by suicide so many times, but this was just the push that I needed. And I remember this conversation so well. James just looked at me and he gave me a big hug, and he goes, Sarah, it's time to stop coming up with excuses. Can you just imagine the Better Life Project Centre? And I took a step back and I just go, holy fuckballs, I can. And for the first time ever, I actually saw myself in this life that I had only ever dreamed about. And it was that moment that I said, okay, I will be leaving Trinity at some stage, and I just don't know when. And that was a defining moment in my coaching career, because I just didn't have any more excuses. there's no more reasons to do it anymore.
That's a great thing, because I know James was kind of the same. James Hanley, obviously,
Of revolutionfitness.ie.
Yeah, check him out. If you're not on Facebook, you'd never, you definitely will hear of him. But James was the same. It was James the accountant originally.
James has been one of the single most greatest sources of inspiration for me, but he was an accountant.
And then just jumped into, right, I want to do this, and ever since it's gone from strength to strength and stuff like that. Like I remember the exact day. I remember the person I was talking to.
Yeah.
It was Tom Jacobs, and in London, and he said 2 words. He said a sentence to me, and it was like, right, I'm going to go do this by myself. Like I have to. Like I can't wait for. You're never going to get all your ducks in a row. It's never going to go, right, here you go, Sarah. It's all ready for you. Just walk in and run it. It's like, no, it has to be trial and error. It has to be, but you have to take that leap. And obviously, that day was for you. It was a great day. It was a huge day in your life to change things. So then the Better Life Project was created.
Yeah, and it's only beginning as well, because the dream was a centre. The dream is that you will one day walk into a mental health gym.
Yeah.
Basically, and there will be people like me everywhere, and we will be working towards supporting people achieve mental health goals and personal development. So this is only the start of what I hope is going to be a very big journey for me in the Better Life Project. And it wouldn't have happened without James, and he just called me up on all of these shitty little excuses. Can you curse? Sorry.
It's YouTube. As far as I know, there's no beeps in YouTube, so we're good.
So he just called me up on all of those excuses, and that is the root, or I guess that is something that I've adopted with my clients as well, because I was so good at coming up with excuses. I'm very good at calling my clients up on their excuses, and that is something that I've noticed a lot working with people on happiness, health and positivity, is that we are very, very good at coming up with another reason why we can't be happy, why positivity just isn't for us, and why health will only ever be a jog for 20 minutes once a week. Yeah. And we're very, very good at telling ourselves it's okay. Yeah. And I don't know, like Tony Robbins and all those guys are brilliant, and then Les Brown. I just think he's really cool. Yeah. He makes me laugh when I listen to him. YouTube, he's pretty hilarious. He's an old school motivational speaker. But one of his stats that he had was like, I think 76% of all people in America act negatively. It's our go-to, because it's easier to say we can't than we can to do things. And it is hard. Like I know, like you run talks and clinics, and you have online clients and stuff like that. And I've worked with some life coaches personally, and the first thing that pops up is, I know I've said it, and I'm sure your clients have usually said like, I can't. I've too much work. I've kids. I've a husband or a wife that doesn't like me, or it's this and that, and all your excuses. When you say an excuse, it's your, like, that's what I personally believe is it's your excuse. So you decided to make it. It's no one else's fault. You put yourself you're a product of your surroundings and the people you work with. Now I know certain things have to be done, but like with your clients, so you get guys coming in, like obviously let's say it's kind of hard every time, like you're getting an excuse, but this is the reason why they come to you. So what would be your kind of like, for you, when you kind of get that in, like where do you go with them, and do you break it down for them and just kind of make it as easy as possible for them to understand, or do you make changes? One of the questions, and you'll know when I've been working with a client over and over again, because they finish my questions for me. Yeah. But unless my client is comfortable and confident that they can implement and achieve what it is that I've asked them to do, so if I was to ask them to rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, and this is an amazing exercise for you guys to commit to as well, but if you're trying to introduce a new habit into your life, and you ask yourself, how committed am I right now to implementing this, and how comfortable and confident am I that I can achieve it? If on a scale of 0 to 10 you're not at least a 7 or an 8, don't do it, step away, make life a little bit easier for yourself whilst you're just starting off, because we're trying to increase and develop your confidence. We don't need to chip away from it. So that's usually one of the first things that I will ask them. And if it's not at least a 7 or an 8, we just take a step back and we come up with something that is not going to be as much work. And we keep on doing that until whatever habit that we're looking at the beginning has become something that's a little bit more sustainable, a little bit more subconscious, until it actually has become a habit and they don't need to think about it anymore. In terms of becoming more positive, most of the clients that I work with want to become more positive, so straight away they are open to it. Straight away they know that something has gone wrong. The same way, people who join a gym, they know they're not as healthy or as fit as they can be. The people that come to me know they're not as positive as they want to be. There is so much stuff out there that you can do to support a person become more positive. There's so much research, scientific research, that supports that development. But there are so many reasons why we should be more positive. And sometimes, and I find this particularly with men, they think it's cool and sexy to be dark and mysterious. And you're sitting there and you're going, you're not kidding anyone, mister.
Yeah.
There's a positive side in you somewhere. And when I look at some of my male clients and they're dark and mysterious and they think they're really cool like that, I just go, no. There is something in you that is yearning for sunshine and sparkles in some sort of way. And I know that sounds very cheesy, but that's just how I see it. And they just don't know how to express that. They don't know that it's okay to look forward to something. They don't have anything to look forward to. So not only is this negative person negative, they also have no goals. They have nothing that will transform them, transform their mood and to lift them up. So I'll use a goal, and we'll use exercises to increase their positivity, and a goal to help make them focused, to get them excited a little bit. Because it's okay that we all get excited about something. Being positive doesn't mean that you're positive all of the time. It means that shit will happen. But if you are more positive, if you are more optimistic, you will lift yourself up faster than someone who's not. And that's just how it is.
I thought like it's one of the things you said is about implementing small goals. If you're not an 8 or 9 when you want to start something, and there's a thing called Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. It's a TED talk. It's really, really good. And he's like saying, like, if you want to run, a lot of people run like January, for example. I'm gonna run the marathon, so they go and start running 4 days a week, and in 3 weeks, those 4 days a week are grinding them. Exactly. He says, just put on your runners for 2 weeks. Don't run, just put on the runners. And then in 2 weeks, then go for one run. And slowly, over a year, end up doing 4 days a week. And just tiny little habits, rather than trying to like everyone. I'm sure you've had it, and I know like anyone in the fitness industry has had it as a coach. Is like, come in January, 5 days a week. I'm gonna smash it. I'm gonna eat what you tell me to eat. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Come the weekend, I'm wrecked.
But another problem with that is that these people, quite often in the health and fitness industry, we do it because we think that we should. And we're doing it out of more of an obligation to our future self rather than a commitment to having fun. And I think when we're picking goals, quite often it's a goal that we think that we should pick. When it should actually be a goal that makes us smile and makes us happy and we have fun with. And then that way it's easier to ingrain the small habits as well. They'll look forward to the time when it's actually ready, when they're ready to go out and do a 10K. And that's, we fall a lot there. We pick things because we think that we have to, rather than because it's fun. Health and fitness is so dynamic. There's so many things that we can do in order to develop that. But we become very narrow-minded or narrow-sighted sometimes.
And I would agree with you there big time, because we like obviously we're CrossFit, we do stretching, we do weightlifting, we do a fair bit. There's other gyms out there that do their own thing. But if you're a gigs Zumba, like, I'm not going to be super stoked that it's Zumba. Like, my mum left CrossFit, she now does Zumba. Breaks my heart a little, but she's having so much fun. She's doing it 3 times a week. She's doing something she loves to do. She's feeling better. She's not stronger than she would have been if she stayed here. But she's happier.
Created a sustainable habit, and how happy she is has a huge part to play in that, why that habit is sustainable.
And because of my belief on how to be healthy, doesn't necessarily mean it has to impact her or anyone for that matter. If that's your gig, if you're a runner, that's fine. If you whatever is your kind of your gig or your goat when you want to be fit and healthy, that's good. Once you stick to the primary principles of like you're doing it regular enough and it is impacting you in a positive way. Like if you're grinding it out for a competition and you run down, you're like if you're competitor, then you have to be willing to sacrifice your body, your time, your mental development, because you're pushing for a goal, and you just have to give everything to it. But if it's for longevity in life, I think just make it fun. Now, it won't always be fun, and I think motivating is key. And you did a video on motivation, which I really...
Motivation versus activation.
Yeah, because motivation for me is something that, everybody, you watch Rocky. If I made all our clients watch Rocky tonight, they'll come tomorrow and they'll train.
Yeah.
The next day, maybe not. The day after that, maybe not, because the motivation's gone there. And I don't, well, you brought that up, and it was a very good point, I thought, is activation on your motivation. So once you're motivated, that's great. And you can start off, motivation is obviously it's the kick, it's the fuel to get you going, but then the constant activation of that. So I'm going to get up 3 times a week at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to do this, and this. Yeah. For week 1, week 2, your motivation will sustain you, but after that, it's obviously, and this is like the January curve after for fitness. So so when you getting people to activate after they're motivated, how do you kind of bring them through that, or is there kind of a little process that you run with your clients?
Yeah, it's super simple. Goals. I am a huge believer in the transformative power of a goal, and it sounds so weird viewing a goal in that way, but that is exactly what it is. There is no one goal out there that if a person doesn't commit to properly will not transform some part of their life, be it their health, their fitness, their spirituality, their nutrition, their professional life, their personal life, or relationships. It will work, and a goal is so powerful because it just gives you focus. So when your motivation is lacking, because not every day is going to be, willpower, I'm good to go, I'm Rocky, I could totally kick ass, put me in a ring with Katie, whoever, and I'll totally kick her ass. It's not going to be like that in real life all of the time. But when we have a goal, we have something to fixate on, we understand how that goal will make us feel, and we can visualize that. And I'm a huge believer in visualizing. I don't know if you've ever seen me compete in powerlifting before, but I do this weird thing. So I'm standing there, and the bar is here, and I'm kind of twiddling my fingers like this, and then I eventually walk up to the bar, and I'm getting set up. And sometimes it just takes me so long because I'm just visualizing myself do the squat. I am feeling everything. And after I visualize that, I go, oh, Jesus, I didn't even do it, but I feel freaking great. Yeah. So that's hugely important, but we can only visualize what it is that we want to achieve when we understand what that is. Yeah. So if a person is lacking in motivation, they just don't have a clear understanding of what their goal is. They don't know what it is that they're fighting for. If what they're fighting for isn't something that's important to them, i.e. in line with their values, you can forget it. When things get hard, they'll just walk away. And if it's not making them happy, if they're not having fun, they'll just give up. Why should they keep going if it's not making them happy?
And do you find, it's something that over the last year I've really started to delve into when we do our initial consultations for clients, is that clients will tell you what they think you want to hear, but it's not really in line with what because as you said, they don't know what they really want. So they'll say, oh yeah, well I want to be more positive, I want to be happier and stuff like that, but they're just saying it because obviously I'm with a life coach, so this is what she wants to hear, and we have I want to do this, I want to achieve these goals. I'm like, you're just telling me what you think I want to hear. I want your real, and do you find it hard to delve to kind of get behind that?
No, because they're also telling themselves what they think they want as well.
Yeah.
When I'm introduced to a client and they want to come up with a plan to leave their job, they are stuck in a rut. I see so many people who are stuck in ruts, and they think they're not only telling me what I want to hear, they're also telling them what they want to hear as well. They either haven't come to terms with their situation, they either haven't accepted how much pain they're currently in, or they haven't accepted how much work they need to do to come out of that. But no, I think that's totally normal, and it's completely okay, because when you work with that client closely, you will see that aha moment. And I was with a client yesterday, and we were just talking about some stuff, and I swear to God, I just saw a light bulb go up at one point, and I was like, okay, brilliant. Yeah. This is it. This is why I do this job. So I can see you have that light bulb. And she might have started for whatever reason, but in that moment, she found why she was going to continue on this journey. She discovered that for herself. All I did as a coach, the exact same way, you're not going to rep out someone's back squat for them. That's not going to get them anywhere. Yeah. So I'm not going to intervene in that journey. I'm just going to sit back and support them and facilitate them. And then when they realize that themselves, that's when they're going to stick. And that's an incredible moment to see when they figure that out on their own. So for whatever reason they're coming in here, absolutely fine. You're never going to fix it all in one session, in one day.
Journey more stuff.
Exactly. And you just need to support them, understand what that is. And it happens. And it's incredible to be part of that.
It's like it's like helping someone lose weight, or again, like you're saying, getting a great back squat and stuff like that. It is an amazing feeling to know that you've helped someone achieve something. Whether it's like for example, we helped a girl last year run her first ever 5K, and Sinead this year ran her first 5K, and these are things. It's a lot of people that are kind of like, oh, 5K is nothing. I said for them it was like the world. And when they ran it, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did this. Now they're so confident in doing, and like those little victories, to a lot of people it's a small victory. To them it was the world. I think that's huge.
And I think we need to be able to, as a society, we need to be able to celebrate those victories as well, because I think we've become obsessed with these grandiose gestures, and anytime we do something amazing, it has to be public, it has to go on Facebook, and the world has got to validate that experience for me. But there are people out there every single day who have ran 5 kilometers for the very first time. I saw women in my old gym squat body weight, which would have been about 50 or 60 kilos, after not being able to do an air squat. And I said, so I can squat whatever amount of kilos, but she needs to be celebrated just as much. But no, she wouldn't have gotten that in the same way that I would have gotten my celebration. And I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that, because every victory is relative and everything is worthy of a celebration, because it took a huge amount for that person to get up and do what they did. They had to overcome not only all of these extrinsic circumstances facing them, they had to overcome so much inside as well.
We had that with Tanya. I remember Tanya, one of our clients, she came in and she couldn't physically do a sit-up. She's had three children. She doesn't look like she had 3 children, but she's had 3 children. She had cesarean section. She won't mind me saying this. She physically couldn't sit up. And it took nearly 6 months. And I remember we recorded it today. She did her first ever full sit-up. And she was like, that was her biggest. Now she back squats, she deadlifts, she pull-ups, she does everything now. And we still reward it, but that first little thing, like as you said, like getting someone to do an air squat that physically couldn't do. What's an air squat? Some people just, but that is the huge victory. And then bringing people back to, this is where you were, like this is your journey so far.
Because we always need to remember where we started.
Exactly. Like when you're 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and you've got development project centres, and you're like you
centres. Did you notice that?
Yeah, centres.
Plural. I like
Damn
it.
right.
I
like it. You're looking back at the day when you started the online program. When you first launched your Facebook. And like it's again like when we started out in the industry, I was a freelance aerobics instructor. Yes, I taught aerobics. Proud of it. And that's what made my money at the time. But that's what I did. I would never teach aerobics again unless it's for charity or something.
But we'd be
but that's
here
where
if it wasn't for that part.
No.
Yes.
And as people say, oh well, if you hadn't known what you know, like if you hadn't went straight into strength and conditioning in the time and stuff like that, well, so I wouldn't have known. I said my journey got me to FSM, to where I am, to what I'm doing, standing here talking to you. If any of that was changed, it could be a completely different situation. It could be better, it could be worse, but like you. And
I feel the exact same way when I look back at my time in Trinity. I wouldn't change anything. I went through I call it sort of my dark place. I went through very dark periods. But I wouldn't change any of that because it has brought me to where I am now. And as much as I advocate happy living, I do not for one second think that happiness means that you no longer experience any sadness, that you no longer experience any pessimism or cynicism about your future. It does not mean that everything is going to be rainbows and sparkles and bunny rabbits. And I wouldn't change any of where I've come from, because it's meant that I'm here, and not only physically am I here, but I have the mental attributes that it's going to take for me to get to where it is that I want to be.
And making know your vitamin, that's one of our biggest thing. And Dave, I'm surprised he's not laughing yet. Making know your vitamin is every time you hear a no, like you have to have bad days, which make the great days better. The good days are great days, but you're going to have a bad day. Like people say, oh yeah, you're always so positive, and I'm sure like everything on your blog. But you even had a video on bad days.
Yeah, I think I probably
Yeah,
have. I talk about it quite a lot.
And you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to like wake up and the world's against me and stuff like that. But the best thing I ever heard was you're allowed to get pissed off for 5 minutes about any one thing. If you cannot change it within 5 minutes or have a plan to change it, then you need to forget about it. And that's something I've been kind of trying to work on. So if someone really annoys me, recording. Okay, so again, I'm still getting used to it. We need to change footage. So we were just talking about being like obviously getting over it after 5 minutes. You need to kind of you're going to have some bad times in life, but it's a journey. Like I honestly feel like for yourself and what you've done and what you're achieving and what you're going to achieve is a big journey, and you're going to inspire and help people achieve their personal journeys, whether it's have a better marriage or a better career or a better fitness or just be happier in themselves. I think that's the big thing that people keep missing out. That's the people wanting the instant. I'm going to sign up to you and you're going to make me happy. It's not that easy.
In today's society, we have become obsessed with short-term gratification and quick fixes, and we want to pay top money for someone to fix our problems now. If there's one thing that I've learned about happiness that I think has been probably the most inspiring piece of knowledge that I've ever learned, is that happiness takes work, and we take that for granted. We think that happiness is either something that we have or that we don't have, or that happiness is as a result of our circumstances, or how much money we have, for example. And if there's one thing that I've learned, is that happiness is something that you can have more of when you're prepared to put in the work, and it's something that I find really exciting. And I'm at a point in my life now where if I feel like I'm having a bad day, for example, I won't go out to the shops and buy myself a brand new outfit. I might have a bar of dark chocolate, but I won't go out and piss up. I won't order a pizza and have a bottle of wine. I will go out there and I will fantasize about my future with the Better Life Project. I will be mindful of where it is that I am and how far I've come. And if you could have something wired to my brain, I promise you will see brain signals and all of that stuff going absolutely off the chart. When you give me 10 minutes to fantasize about my future with the Better Life Project or my future with James, I get so happy sometimes a tear comes to my eye, and I guarantee you that does not measure up to an outfit or these things that bring us pleasure that so many of us are obsessed with. We think the quick fix is pleasure, but no, the quick fix is counting your blessings and spending time with your mum and calling up your best friend and going, how was your goddamn day? Or talking to the homeless person on the side of the street, and instead of just throwing a bit of change his way, you actually look him in the eyes, you recognize him, and you go, you want to grab a bite to eat with me? That's what we need to do to increase our happiness. And that was probably one of the most inspiring things I've ever learned. And it's something that when my clients hear me say and then come back and report back to me that they've done it, you're just like, brilliant, let's keep going.
Yeah, it is. Helping people is huge, and
It's massive.
Like if any of our clients rings me and says, Stephen, I'm not sure, I just need to have a chat. Have you got half an hour, 20 minutes? Yeah, like I'm not that. I'm not going to be an ass and go, oh well, no. If you want a half an hour of my time, I'm going to charge you. Stand upside down. I'll send you the check or the invoice. Because for me to give 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or as you said, like to help someone that with no want back. And I know you feeling better is your kind of your kickback.
Yeah, like is there such thing as a selfless good deed? I really don't think there is. So we maybe just need to.
But being happy, like even one thing that I remember Susan made a joke about was that anytime I get served by someone, I always say thank you and I hope you have a good day. And I don't say have a good day. I said I hope you have a good day. And they always get caught off guard. You too. And they kind of get a little bit kind of miffed.
Oh my God, a human being has acknowledged me.
But that's like they're the simple little things that you can do in your everyday life, and it takes nothing to that person and just go, I hope you have a good day, or how was your day, or stuff like that. And people, I think, changing that ever so slightly, and it's simple, like do it once. Like the next time you're in a shop and there's like, if that person behind the counter looks like a miserable bitch or fecker, that's going to be a lovely Irish accent coming right across there, fecker. They probably had a bad day of loads of people coming in at them, giving them a bad day. So change it around. I hope you have a good day, or how was your day, or something. Like obviously you don't want to have a conversation with the person because you're probably going somewhere, but those little things. So for the Better Life Project and yourself, like you're doing clinics and everything now.
Workshops.
Workshops and seminars. So if anyone kind of watching this wants to kind of get on board with your kind of stuff, like how are they going to get to you, and what's the kind of the process, and what do you expect from them and stuff like that?
Super simple. You jump onto my website, thebetterlifeproject.ie, and you sign up to my emails. My email subscribers are the first to know about any sort of events and things like that we've got going on. There's the Facebook page there, which is always usually full of quirky, mad stuff with very poor spelling. Instagram, Facebook, and then I do BLP TV as well, which is about once every fortnight or so. Kind of when I'm feeling really inspired. There is so much stuff out there with the BLP, and at the moment I'm feeling pretty inspired, so there's a lot of stuff there. And there's usually workshops. I'm hoping to have workshops every 4 months or so with the BLP.
So we'll have links below the video as well, so you can check that out. I'm pressing down because obviously it'll be below in the article. And the subscribe button is on one of our sites. But before we kind of finish up, Sarah, you also, like obviously helping people is awesome. You've got, you're going to have your centres. And
I'm loving the plural, no pressure.
You're going to grow the company, and I'm all supportive for like helping people become happier and just living a better life, and just kind of rationalize how to be better. But you also, as you mentioned earlier, you rock in powerlifting.
I love it.
So you've been doing powerlifting a while now.
So I was in a CrossFit gym there for a while, and I loved squatting so much that I said I've just got to give this a go. So I left my beloved CrossFit gym about a year ago and started, and now I call myself a powerlifter in inverted commas, because it's just really weird saying telling people that I'm a squatter. But so I've done the odd single lift competition. Most recently I did one in February, and I just love it. And I started off my health and my fitness journey like most women do, and I just wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get rid of the flabby bits. I wanted to walk around in hot pants with a tight ass and lean, long arms and a six pack. We all wanted that. And then I squatted about 80 kilos 4 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like Superwoman. I actually felt how I thought a Victoria's Secret model felt. And I just said, whoa. And my problem was that how I viewed my health and my fitness was far too confined. I was so restricted. I said the only reason I can feel happy or celebrate or reward myself following a good day in the gym was if I noticed that I'd lost weight. Weight and happiness for me was far too linked. And I started to get stronger. And then I remember one day I tried to squat 100 kilos and missed it about 3 times. And I just said, I'm not ready to give this up yet. And I remember my coach at the time said, Sarah, I see a 130, 140 squat in you. And I looked at him and I said, you must be crazy. And then I showed it to my James, and he goes, yeah, Sarah, you've got this. And I've been doing it ever since, and I love it. And there was nothing more empowering for me as a woman to be able to go into a gym and pick up something or squat something. There's nothing more inspiring than being able to feel like I can walk into IKEA and take a wardrobe off the top shelf, and someone look at me, male or female, and ask me if you need help, and look at them with confidence and go, I've actually got this. Or being able to piggyback my 10-year-old cousin, who's really tall, about 400, 500 meters, simply because he was tired. There's no greater feeling than that. And I think as women, we obsess too much over the effect it will have on our body. We don't look at how it's making us feel internally. And that's something, I feel like I'm on some sort of crusade at the moment just to get women to think outside the box. Strength training will have an incredible impact on you as a human being. I've learned more things standing under a heavy squat than I have anywhere else in life. I've challenged myself both personally, mentally, physically, and it's been incredible. Just don't ever call me strong for a girl, because I can't stand that. I was training in a gym once, and this dude came up to me and he asked me if I needed help deadlift, or if I would be okay deadlifting that, and I said, yeah, no, I'm grand, thanks. I'll be okay. And then I noticed on the corner of my eye that he was looking at me, and it wasn't a weird sort of look, it was just in awe. Oh my God, I can't believe she's lifting that. And then he came up to me, and after a very interesting conversation where he pointed out that I didn't look like I took steroids for a powerlifter, he said, yeah, no, it's just I thought you were pretty strong for a girl. And I just said, no, I'm actually just pretty strong. Yeah. Because when you rationalize my strength using my gender, I have a huge problem with that. When you suggest that strong is sexy, I have a huge problem with that, because I don't look like a freaking Victoria's Secret bodybuilder, six-pack lady, but I can guarantee you there are days where I feel like one. And I don't appreciate when people suggest that my strength is only as good as it is because I'm a woman. I work extremely hard. Us women work extremely hard. So do not suggest that our gender has anything to do with that. I get very frustrated.
You get a lot of you see the slogans like I lift like a girl, I don't lift like I'm as strong as and sexy and all that stuff. But one thing actually Susan kind of brought up was like like she kind of says like I don't lift good for a girl, I lift like a girl. And I'm strong. I'm a woman.
Because we're changing the language.
Strong.
We're changing the language around how we associate sports, athletics, and strength, and being a girl and being a woman. And I'm very proud of who I am. And call me a feminist, call me whatever you want to call me. I am proud of what it is that I can accomplish, and I'm very proud of anyone I see in the gym lifting anything, be it 60 kilos, be it 200, be it my James, or be it some noob you've got walking in your door. I'm extremely proud of what that person can achieve. But don't belittle that accomplishment by suggesting that our gender has a role to play in that.
Like fair play, that you're a woman, so fair play kind of thing. Like we've a heap load of women, Dave can attest to this, that we have the 100 kilo club, and like we've 14, 15 women in the 100 kilo club, and it's like that's their kind of benchmark. They all want to get there now, but when they walk in, like the bar is heavy. So I think it's a huge thing of women being stronger, not being stronger, but they like showing how strong they are, rather than being strong. It's just showing how strong they are, and they can go toe to toe. Like we've a lot of people that go toe to toe with our guys here, and mentally, physically. Probably more maturely, if I'm being honest. But I think it's brilliant, and like obviously you're representing and showing like that. Powerlifting, people say like weight training is powerlifting is great for women. Weight training is great for women, and if that's your gig, like do
anything with a barbell. I just think for men or women is the way to go if you're serious about your health and your fitness, because weight training will give us something that cardio will never give us, and that is the ability to be able to look at something heavy on the floor and feel that we are able to lift that up by ourselves. And it's such a basic skill to be able to develop and have, but it's incredible. So respect to all you 100 kilo lifters out there, because it's tough, but we have to overcome a lot as women, because society has suggested that we will get too bulky and too masculine if we lift.
Oh yeah, like tanks. It's just going to happen. You're going to wake up huge, because every guy that comes in here, every woman, I'm going to get bulky from lifting weights. I said, oh yeah, I just stay off it. Like just before I get bulky, I just drop the weights a little bit. Come on, like it's hard work. And it's a lot of people that do it. But we're gonna wrap it up. So before we go, you can check out Sarah on Facebook, the Better Life Project. You got Better Life TV. The website, you can sign up for our newsletter. Again, all information will be below. And Sarah, thank you very much for calling out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Hey guys, don't forget to jump over to our website crossfitfsm.ie and download your free Rogue Nutrition ebook. And also keep track of our blog, as we've got more upcoming interviews with great coaches and athletes coming your way.